Alright, hey guys, it is TsubakiSwagg and I'm coming to you with my review of Death Parade episode 2, Death Reverse. In this episode, okay, so I was right. I feel like I was right and I was wrong. There's really no right answer for this show. That's honestly the way I feel about the show. The show is still freaking amazing. But pretty much this whole episode was explaining what happened in the first one. And like the first one, we saw Mahiko and Takashi playing a game for their lives, and they find out at the end that they passed away. And Takashi went to reincarnation while Machiko went to the void. And I was like, we were right about, like, they were already dead, so the game had absolutely nothing to do with whether or not they die or not. They were already dead. It was pretty much a way of the arbiters figuring out who goes where. And it kind of sucks because in this whole episode, like pretty much the whole episode, we see the nameless assistant, whom I feel is going to play an important part in what happens in the show. We see the nameless assistant pretty much questioning everything that they do. Like, she was woken up, she was laying like on a tree by Nona, and Nona like shows her around. She takes her to the elevator where they see Clavis, and she takes her up to Decium's bar. So she introduces her to Decium, and she finds out that this is where all the deceased people come. They're arbiters. They determine whether or not somebody goes to heaven or hell, pretty much. Well, that's their version of it, either through reincarnation or their soul gets sent to the void. And like along the way, she continues to question Nona. And Nona looked like she was getting frustrated, but she's a new assistant, so she was showing her, and they pretty much like recap the whole first episode, like when Takashi and Mahiko got there and how they persuaded them to play the game. And Nona even said that the shock of being killed, they don't realize that they're dead until like either close to the end of the game or after the game is over. And even in the last episode, it showed that Mahiko realized that they were dead, like right as the game was ending. She realized that they were already dead. So during all of that, like, we see like the whole process of them playing games and fighting and just revealing all this stuff about themselves. And I realized, well, the assistant brings it to our attention that there's a possibility that Mahiko wasn't actually like doing all the stuff that she said she did. I mean, I believe that she did cheat once, but I don't believe that that was like her lover and they were going back and forth and blah blah blah. But I feel like, and I agree with the assistant when she said that maybe that was her way of making sure that her love got sent to reincarnation or got sent to heaven, because he didn't do anything wrong and she really did love him. And I do believe that the baby was his, but the fact that she wronged him in that way, she wanted to make sure that he went to heaven, got reincarnated. And that's why she put up that whole front and show, and that was why she made that face when the elevator was closing on her, which really kind of sucked. It was sad, but it was sweet at the same time if you think about it that way. But then there's also a possibility that she was cheating on him the whole entire time, and his baby isn't his. And the reason why she told him that, like the assistant said, was so that way he could move on away from her and not continuously think about her or think about like him killing their baby when they got into that car accident. So that would like lessen the load on him, knowing that maybe if the baby wasn't his, he didn't actually kill it, when he was being so suspicious of his newlywed wife cheating on him after her friends decided they wanted to run their mouths. So this whole episode, like, my mind was completely fucked. I was so confused, but this episode was so freaking awesome. I know Death Parade is probably going to be one of my favorite shows this season, but Death Parade was so freaking awesome. And I like the twist that they put on it, because I never even thought about it that way until the assistant even mentioned it. that it was a possibility that all that stuff could be the reason why. I just was not prepared. But this episode was freaking awesome. So, I think that's pretty much all I have to say for this one, because it was pretty much, like I said, just a recap of last week's episode. So, as always, I would love to hear how you guys felt about this episode. Do you think that the assistant's verdict on Mahiko and Takashi was true? Do you think that Mahiko really was a cheater? Did she do it to save Takashi? Do you think that Dekium was wrong for sending her to the void? Should he have sent her to heaven? Blah, blah, blah. But as always, please remember to comment, thumbs up, and subscribe. It helps me out a whole lot. And this is TsubakiSwagg saying adios.